Welcome everyone. In this presentation, in this video, we are going to talk about how to crack CRISC certification exam in the first attempt. As the first attempt global fail rate is 50 to 60%, it is considered to be a very hard exam. In this presentation, we'll talk about how to pass it in the first attempt itself. So these are the topics that we will cover in this presentation. Why most people fail for wrong reasons, what the pass rate data tells us, the top five candidates that fail, top five reasons why candidates fail, as well as the different types of domain weightage and the type of answer logic that you have to keep in mind. Also, the tricky question gaps. We'll also discuss our 8-week study plan as well as a 16-week plan for working professionals, followed by how to study each domain that comes in the exam as well as the best resources to study. And then we'll talk about how INSEC's study guide as well as how INSEC helps you through this entire process. So let's get started. Why do most people fail CRISC? For the wrong reasons. So the global pass rate is 50 to 60%, but with the right guidance and right mentorship, it is 92% plus with INSEC. So what unprepared candidates do is that they study these book so the study materials like textbooks by memorizing. This is wrong as it is this exam trains situational judgment and not recalling skills or memory skills. Also, it is an attempt. You should always attempt an exam with proper practice, and people attempt it without a single full length mock exam test. Also, you should only use third party. You should people who use only third party question banks are not using their study resources properly, as ISACA QA is the primary question for source. Also, having a structured plan is also very important. What does data tell us about the top five reasons candidate fail? So people who study from the wrong study resources, people who think memorizing definitions and frameworks is more important than understanding. Also, not practicing full length mock exams and not preparing for domain three, since domain three is the domain that has the most amount of weightage, which is 32%. Also, not having a structured plan or a mentor that keeps you accountable. Self-study does not make sure that you get distracted, whereas with a mentor you will be more accountable. So, how CRISC questions are actually designed? So, these tests they do not test factual recollections or definitions. They test judgment. There is mostly they do not have one textbook correct answer that you have memorized, but you have to choose the best answer out of the multiple answers that is given. Also, uh, reading the most amount of books is not important, but practicing the most amount of scenario questions is more important. And questions are not straightforward. They are complex scenarios in which you will think that multiple answers can be correct and you have to choose the best one out of it. Also, all answer options are not clearly right or wrong. That it could be that in multiple questions you will see that there are multiple answers that seem correct. In this, you have to choose the one that is the most complete and most risk aligned. Now let's see the CRISC answer logic and domain weightage. So you always have to, this is the answer framework and how you should go about answering each question according to INSEC. So the first step is that you have to always read the last sentence, which is mostly the main question. Also, you have to identify the risk perspective. And then you have to eliminate the extreme options. Then you have to choose the answer that has the governance related solution. And then you have to make sure that you know that as a risk manager, it is not your duty to fix things, it is your duty to only report. So now we look at the domain weightage of each domain. So the highest is domain 3, which is 32%, which is risk response. And then domain 1 is IT risk identification. And then domain four is risk monitoring, which is 22%. And then the lowest is domain 2, which is IT risk assessment, that is only 20%. So, what are some tricky question traps and how to beat them? So, what will you do if two options seem equally right? Then you have to then you have to see which one is the most aligned with enterprise risk governance. versus what is the tactical technical response, and choose the one that is more aligned with the governance solution. Also, there is always a question which asks you for the best answer. So in this, you have to make sure that the best one has the most complete, it is the most risk first and governance aligned answer, not the quickest or the most technical. Then we have the long scenario short question. In this, you have to make sure that you read the question first and then scan the scenario for what exactly the answer could be. And you will find the answer in the scenario in a lot of times. Also, risk manager versus audit or IT or admin role confusion. So, risk manager identifies, assesses, and reports. They do not implement the controls or makes the IT changes. You have to keep this in mind. Also, now we'll see the different types of study plans that INSEC provides for different types of individuals. So there are two types of tracks which we can take. The first is the 8-week study track plan, and the second is the 16-week working professional plan. So the 8-week one is for people or individuals who do not have a job and can dedicate more time of their day for preparation, and the second one is for people who are working and therefore do not have that much free time. So for 8-week fast track plan, week 1 and 2 will be for ECO and D3 foundation. Week 3 will be for D1 risk governance. Week 4 will be for D2 plus D4. Week 5 to 6 would be for mock full programs. And for week 7, you will be doing a targeted drill down for all your weak places as well as domain sprints. And also for week 8 is for final sprint as well as exam. In this, you have to study about 6 hours per day, since you do not have a job to juggle. And then we have a 16-week plan. This is for working professionals where you only have to study 1.5 hours per day, since you know that it is going to be very tough to schedule around their work schedules. So for week 1 and 2, it will be ECO and foundation. Week 3 to 5 will be domain 3 mastery. Week 6 to 8 will be domain 1 plus QAE questions. Week 9 to 11 will be domain 2 plus domain 4. Week 12 to 14 would be mock exam program. And then week 15 to 16 would be final push plus exam. So how to study domain 1? So you have to keep in mind that it is 26% of the exam weightage. So you have to study smart. And these are the high yield study focus areas such as risk appetite and tolerance definitions, IT governance structures and committees, risk culture and communication strategies, risk policy standards and procedure hierarchy. And you have to keep in mind that ISACA favors governance over tactical fixes. uh, Next is domain 2, which is IT risk assessment. This is 20% of the exam weightage. Here you have to study topics. These are high yield study focused topics. This includes risk identification before analysis, where sequence is very important. Then we have heat maps and risk register construction, aggregated versus individual risk views. Then we have business impact analysis concepts. These are also very important. You have to keep in mind that ISACA asks for the complete assessment first, and there is always you should know how to distinguish between inherent risk versus residual risk. Now we have domain 3, which is 32%. Here, the topics which are high yield are control design. It is one of the most heavily tested, and therefore you should study it very deeply. Then there is cost benefit analysis of risk treatment options. Then there is residual risk evaluation after control implementation. And then there is vendor risk assessment framework. Now we have domain 4, which is 22% of the exam. Here the high yield study focus areas are KRI characteristics, which are the most relevant, measurable, timely, and actionable. Then we have board level reporting versus management level reporting, and how you will distinguish between these two. Then we have risk appetite monitoring against actual performance, and then we have lessons learned cycle and feedback to the governance. Here you have to keep in mind that IC wants forward-looking risk indicators, KRIs, and therefore not KPIs. So here are some of the study materials which you should use. Here are some of the study materials which you can use for your certification, which will be very useful. So this includes ISACA exam content outline. This is the most important. Then we have ISACA CRISC review manual. This is also important. For practicing, you can use ISACA QAE practice database. And if you are done with this, we also give you 1,000+ question mock bank at INSEC. Then we have COBIT 2019. This is also free if you are a member of ISACA. And also, if you have still more to go, then you can refer to third party books like Himang Doshi. But these cannot be primary resources. This is for people who have finished all of these five already. So, what will be our mock strategy by INSEC? So, INSEC has 1,000+ questions tagged by domain and difficulty, and 150 full mocks under 4-hour timed conditions. So, after every mock, we will also give you domain analytics so that you can find your score gaps. And there is a mentor review session that will review every wrong answer one to one. Then we also have a week by week schedule, mock schedule that mirrors your 90-day study plan, and we want to make sure that you reach at least 82% accuracy before your exam. We also have a very nice error log method where after every mock you have to log every wrong answer which you did according to domain, concept, as well as the ISA principle from which it belongs to. Here you can group errors and then you can easily find out what are your weak areas and what topics you need to work harder on. Then we have a timed practice principle. We have to know that in order to get we need to make sure that you should at least have 1.6 minutes of per question average, and this is the ideal timing which you should have per question, and therefore you should set your phone timer to 80 minutes, and then you should flag uncertain questions and don't spend more than 3 minutes on each question, as this exam is very time sensitive, and any time that you are spending trying to figure out how a single question is being you should solve a single question, you could spend that time solving questions in which you know the answer to. Also, you should work on simulating a full 4-hour exam so that this is for the final leg of practice. And also, you should know that weak stamina is a one of the top reasons why candidates fail. So what is the last 7-day countdown strategy? So on the day 7, you will do a domain review. On day 6, you will do a week domain focus. On day 5, you will do a full mock exam. Day 4, you will do like a light revision. On day 3, you will confirm the test centers or the online setup through which you will be giving your exam. You will sleep early. You will make sure that you have packed your ID card and all your important documents. And on day 2, you will do absolute rest. So you will not study, you will walk, you will go for a walk, you will watch something light, and you will trust your preparation. And on exam day, you will arrive 30 minutes early and do a brain dump and then start from question one itself. So this is the exam day strategy for the actual D-day. This you will start with your 5-minute brain dump where you will write down everything that you have that you think should be written, such as answer framework, key acronyms on the scratch paper. Then you have 1.6 minutes per question average pace. You should flag and skip hard questions and apply the INSEC framework while answering. You should always look at the last sentence of the question first. Then you have to identify the domain and then you have to eliminate the extremes and choose the governance first answer. You have to stay calm on your uncertainty and you have to trust your judgment training that has been given to you by our mentors. Also, you have to trust your first instinct unless you see a clear error. So if you don't pass, we always have INSEC safety net. So have you failed the CRISC exam? Then you have to know that INSEC will pay for your next attempt fee and with zero extra cost to you. So if you fail, INSEC will ask for zero extra cost and will apply for your next, will make sure that they will pay for the next CRISC exam attempt in full, and you will never pay twice. And this is our commitment to you as INSEC and mentors. And also, we have an extended mentorship support. Your mentorship will extend until you pass your certification in your next attempt. We will also do a root cause review with mentor where we will sit and discuss what went lacking, what was lacking in the first attempt. And also, we have this will rarely happen as we have a 92% pass rate on our first attempt. So, very few students actually need the safety net. But in case you do, we are always there for you. So here are some of the INSEC students who passed on the first attempt and how they upgraded their career after getting a certification. So what are you waiting for? Access INSEC's full CRISC exam prep system today with pay after passing model, where you do not have to pay any money to INSEC until you actually get your certification in hand. For further information, you can visit our website, or you can always WhatsApp us on this number for a free counseling session. Thank you, and I hope this presentation was of use to you.